Getting ready for the election. Obama is talking in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But guys, welcome back to another video. This is your girl, Miss Bev, with another video. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching and sharing the videos. Thank you for liking the videos. And thank you for contributing to the conversation. I so truly appreciate every single comment that is made, respectfully. And I do get excited, guys. I feel good. Like today, someone says, "Oh, I like you're here." And I am thankful that, you do things and you really like when people appreciate those little things that you do. So, as I said in the previous video, as I spoke about the community, the fees that you have to pay in these gated communities to cover the expenses of the luxury that we all gravitate towards. I also want to speak to the returning residents about their tax obligations. A lot of times we think like you come home and you're just so relaxed, And when I came home in 1999, believe me, I knew nothing. I just decided I was tired. I wanted a break. I wanted to come home. There was nothing in planning. In 1999, I didn't have even own my own home yet. And so my children were just, my daughters were heading into high school. They got scholarships and finished their first year in high school with honors, and still had Christopher there in, I don't remember what grade he was, maybe third grade. And in 1999, he was just 9. And so he was in the 3rd grade, and I was tired. And all I did, I just started packing and said, I'm going home. So there was no planning put into it. There were no years of nothing. There was no consultation with the kids. There was nothing. Because when I told my daughters, I said, you could stay in your high school and finish. Auntie Yvonne would be your guardian. No, Mommy, wherever you go, we coming. And so we came home and we lived. I got a job to teach here. Who knew about taxes, to pay taxes in America? I didn't know anything. I didn't know a darn thing. I just came home. But now it's a different time. You see, back then in 1999, there were no computers tracking us, right? I mean, it wasn't prevalent. Today, everywhere you go, they have access to computers, and they can tell you everything you have done, every move you have made, how much you spend, where you spent it. You're just being like, your life is just an open book nowadays. So I just wanted to just say to us that we're coming home and we're happy. The sunlight is good. The food is good. You're in a good place. You're in a place that you want to be in. And so just remember this, guys. And as I said in the other video, as it relates to the fees for the gated communities, remember, I'm giving you information for you to work on. Now I'm talking to you about taxes. Don't sit back and say, Miss Bev said. Make sure that you're going out there to find the accountants who deal with the taxes, to find the people who can help you. If you have to file taxes, if you're working in Jamaica, no, you have to file taxes elsewhere, then please make sure that you're finding the people who can help you. But just make sure you're thinking about these things and making sure it makes sense. Because I just found out while I was looking through this that returning residents are generally subject to income tax on their worldwide income if they reside in Jamaica for 183 days or more. Not a whole year, 183 days. Remember, the year has 365 days. So if you are a returning resident, you are generally subjected to income tax on your worldwide income if you reside in Jamaica for 183 days or more in a calendar year. Tax residency. A person is considered a tax resident if they are present in Jamaica for 183 days or more in a year, or have a permanent home in Jamaica. You hear that? If you have a permanent home in Jamaica and you're in the country for 183 days or more, you are a tax resident. It says there's a capital gains tax and from the sale of property, which may be subject to capital gains, but exemptions can apply for certain individuals, right? So the capital gains tax is if you sell property, then you might be taxed on that. Your import duties, again, I talked to you about that you're entitled to that, to $1,000, is it $1,000? And make sure that you check that out if you're planning to come. So you make sure that you check out that customs duties or import duties. Eligible for exemptions on certain personal items brought into the country, subject to specific limits and conditions. So this is different from the custom duties. This is import duties. So I guess if you're bringing in tools or stuff like that, then they're not taxed because you're bringing them in order to work, to perform your work or your trade, your skills, whatever. Your property tax, if you own property, you'll need to pay property taxes based on the assessed value. Remember that, guys. Remember that your taxes, your land taxes must be paid, and it must be on what they assess it to be valued. And it says compliance is crucial to register with the Tax Administration Jamaica, that's a TAJ, and file tax returns as required. So I told you about the taxes. I don't have anything really to whatever. I am lucky. I am lucky to have my children where, things are delegated to them, and so I don't have to be here stressing about taxes. I feel young in the spirit and feel like I can't just sit around forever, that I will need a job. Just to keep this mind going, I will need to be back in the job market doing something, anything, I don't care what it is. I will need to be doing something to make myself useful. I can't just sit here and waste my good brain and, I have some skills. And then you have the compliance, right? As I said, to register with the Tax Administration of Jamaica, to TAJ. Please, guys, just do your due diligence. Ask questions, get good information, and do your due diligence. Don't just come home and sit back and relax. I know a lot of us, we don't understand a lot of things, but don't come and sit back and feel like coming home is it, you're done. I just need to eat some good food, drink some jelly coconut, eat some fresh organic stuff, and that's it. It's not over. Penalties and interest. The Tax Administration, which is TAJ, can impose penalties and interest on unpaid taxes. This can accumulate over time, increasing the total amount owed. Just remember these things. You don't want those penalties. You don't want them because they're unreasonably too much. So you hear the complaints from people, and so you want to make sure you don't fall into that. Legal action. The TAJ has the authority to take legal action against individuals or businesses for unpaid taxes. This can include court proceedings to recover owed amounts. They can also take your things, seizure of assets. In cases of significant compliance, they keep reaching out, you keep ignoring, you keep throwing it aside. I don't know if they're sending letters out anymore. I don't know how they're doing things. A lot of things are done through emails nowadays. Please remember to educate yourselves on how to use these electronic things so that you're not left behind and you don't get caught up into these things because they had sent an email and you didn't get it. I don't know how many post offices are around anymore and if people are even going to them to pick up mails, but please guys, do not come home and be complacent. Do not do that. Please come home and take care of what you have worked hard for over the years that you have been out there on the grind, getting things done. So now it's time to enjoy it, but understand that there are responsibilities attached to this enjoyment. So again, they can seize your assets and including bank accounts or property to satisfy any tax debts. Remember, they have that power to do that. This was interesting when I read this part of it where it talks about travel restrictions, that in some cases, outstanding tax obligations can lead to travel restrictions, preventing individuals from leaving Jamaica until their tax matters are resolved. Guys, it is serious. Please make sure that you are on top of things. You know what to do. You know how to get it done. And if you don't know, go get a lawyer to help you sort it out. Again, don't sit down and say, Miss Bev said this or said that. Please go check it out for yourselves and make sure that you're not giving away your stuff that you work hard for. You know, you have. The other day I'm not in Connecticut, right? But the truck has to be registered. In order to get that registered, I had to go on and make sure that all of the taxes, because in Connecticut they tax your vehicle, you have to pay vehicle tax, right? Car taxes. So my RAV4, it's a 2018 20s. It's a new enough RAV4, and so they value it at so much so that the tax on it is high. And so I had to go in and make sure that when I was clearing everything, cleaning house, that that payment was made. Otherwise, you cannot register the vehicle. You have to make sure you don't owe any taxes, whether property. I know there was no property anything. It's so sweet to scratch my back, my back scratcher. But you have to make sure all of that is done. The emissions is done. You have to make sure. Otherwise, you cannot register your vehicle. And if they stop you on the street and you don't have a car registration, you're in trouble. So all of that, you have to just make sure that you're going and you're checking from time to time, making sure that these things oh my God, it's a overkill for these things. So much. But make sure that you're on point. And especially here, it says you can't even leave Jamaica. It can become that case. And that it didn't say it is the case, but it can become that case. Business implications. So a lot of you might not have businesses, but for those who have businesses, I know you already probably know all of this, but failure to comply with tax obligations can lead to additional scrutiny, loss of license, and other operational challenges. So to avoid these issues, it's important for returning residents to stay informed about your tax obligations and seek assistance if needed. I cannot say it enough. Consulting with a tax professional can help ensure compliance and avoid potential pitfalls. You don't want to lose what you have invested in all these years, the sacrifices you've made to get where you are today. Please make sure that you're doing what you need to do to make sure that you don't lose out. So again, this is your girl, Miss Bev, with information on how to avoid what do you call it? How to avoid issues when your taxes are not paid. So I'm just encouraging us to make sure you get the good information, seek out people who understand it, and so that you're on a good in a good way, in a good lane, enjoying your return, enjoying your retirement, enjoying your investments, just enjoying this simple life one day at a time. If you can't be good, be careful. Walk good, do good, and stay educated.